fellow artists, and welcome to Life Cues Week 5. And look where I am doing it from. That's right, Las Vegas. So I'm sitting outside. It's a little bit later in the day, so the sun is going down, and this has a roof over it, which is perfect for Lupus me. But I hope I can get this done before it gets dark, because Las Vegas is very much like the mountains in Jasper. Once the sun goes down, it's like nighttime. And I'm not used to that, because where we live, you know us, we have sun all the time. Okay, so I'm going to work on this page here, and what I'm going to do first is just cover it with some white paint. Unfortunately, I don't have a tripod, so I'll be holding my camera a lot, so I hope that's not going to be too difficult for you to watch or me to do. I'm going to use this light blue here and white. I bought some really basic art supplies at Hobby Lobby. I didn't want to buy a whole bunch, but you know, just enough. Whoops, just enough. So I'm just going to kind of want to do both colors, and hopefully I can use these paints up while I'm here, then I won't be bringing them home. I've done my background here, you can see it, it's all dry now. So my question for today is, how do you handle disappointment? If you get disappointed, or you know, most especially if like you're supposed to do something with a friend, and I know my daughter has a friend, and every time they go to do something, she always cancels, always cancels, and you know, that's happened to me too, and it's just so disappointing. Or somebody, you just can't count on them, and you're like, well, do I just forget about that person, or do I keep them in my life knowing that it's always going to be a disappointment? What do I do? Because you feel bad. Like if you've made plans to do something with somebody, and you've set out, and you're going to see that person, and you know, you've set aside your day, the plane is going by, how disappointing, the helicopter, but you've set aside your whole day to do something, and then at the last minute they call and change their minds. You get that little sink in your heart, like, oh, you know? So that's what this page is all about. So the first thing I'm going to do, I took our bingo cards from last night, and this is going to be like, what do you call those things? When the computer appoint, it'll come to me. But you know, like if you're going to a lecture, trying to make it like that, like the points on how you can handle disappointment. So I took the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 off the bingo card and cut them like pennants. And it's amazing what you can use when you have no art. This is it for art supplies, people. I have nothing. So I'm going to, before I glue those down, I'm going to take the tissue paper I bought at Hobby Lobby here, and I'm just going to collage. It's really cool paper, and I got quite a bit. This is awesome. So I'm just going to tear it and collage it around, and using some of the Mod Podge that I got. Collaging down there, and I use Mod Podge, not quite dry, but oops, it'll be fine. Then I got these stencils, again inexpensive, and I'm just going to stencil. There's 2 keys, sort of random around. I'll probably do 3 of them. I like to do things in odd numbers, don't know why, but it's kind of like how to lock the answer to how you can handle disappointment. So I'm just gonna put those on there. The word I was looking for was PowerPoint. That's right. So you can see my 3 keys, one there, and one. I always like things to go off the page. That is the exact same helicopter on the exact same pattern. Isn't that weird? Wonder how many times it'll fly by. I glued this a light bulb. It's from Junkyard Findings, and it says believe, because I think when we go through difficult things that are disappointments, some people have huge disappointments like job loss and divorce and finding out their spouse cheated on them, like all kinds of disappointments, and some people have smaller ones. But disappointments are disappointments just the same. So we have to believe in ourselves and believe that we can get through anything. So that's why I use the word believe. I don't have any ink. I like to ink around my little thingies. I'm going to glue them down, and then I will just take a Sharpie and just trace around them, just so it kind of lets them stand out on the page a little bit. I wish I could be talking and videotaping, but I'll create the page and then I'll talk a little bit after. This page will just be a little different than usual. Not sure if this page, the Mod Podge underneath, is dry. Oh yeah, because it's kind of cold out here. Sometimes I like to just think about things that happen to me or others, and then it becomes the life question. So how would you handle such and such or whatever? So then I do a little research, and I found on this one page they were just, you know, everybody has their little bit of advice and you take from it what you want, but I found this to be the best bit of advice. OM to the G with the helicopters already. How do you handle annoying? Lord have mercy. Okay, so this is working pretty good. Going around, kind of gives it that kind of messy doodly look. Can you hear these helicopters? I wonder what's going on. Look. It's been quiet all day. It's like Monica below, let's make noise. Pretty funny. Oh well. We handle, we deal with whatever is given to us, right? For me today, it's helicopters. I just hope you can hear me. Okay, get this last one done. Every time I get a little paint on the tip, it gets there. And I might even put a little ruffle around it. It's like I plan to make it look this messy, even if I didn't. You can see the Mod Podge oozing out. Oh my. That's okay, it is what it is, right guys? And then the last little one here. But anyway, I was saying some of the tips that were on this one page I was on. The first thing they say if you're disappointed, to let it out. I remember when my mom was younger, she never looked stressed. And I used to ask her when I got older and had kids, I go, hi, honey, your friend just did this or that. How does that not bother you? She said, she was a psychologist, and she said, I give myself 24 hours or whatever the appropriate time is to deal with it, to be mad, to be sad, to be disappointed, whatever, then I move on. So I think it's just like on that website, that's why it sort of snapped to me. It's like you have to let it out. And I find that I just sit with my emotions and just kind of be present, like, wow, I'm really sad. Like, damn, what did that happen? Or shoot, I wasted my whole day. Or, you know, I lost my job. Or like when my kids were in international track and field, I lost the race. And I allow them the day to cry if you have to, let it out. But after that, it's done. You're done. It's over. Move on, you know? And sometimes with some people, especially, I hate to say it, and I hate to stereotype men versus women, but the majority of men don't let things out. And they are often, I heard the words to a song and it says, I'm too strong to be weak. Like you think you're so tough that you can't be vulnerable, you know? So you gotta let it out. You gotta let out disappointments. Health, friendships, jobs, whatever. So our number one is to let it out. And then you need to get some perspective. Like, oftentimes we'll go, well, it was my fault. Maybe it's just because they don't really like me, or they have people that they'd rather disappoint less than me, and so it's about me and it's my fault. But you know what? It's not your issue, it's their problem. You need to replace those thoughts with positive talk instead of the negative talk. If you say it is my fault, it's my fault, well, it isn't your fault. You're not doing anything, they are. And getting mad and blaming them, and they are who they are, and that's why the person, and it is, well, basically, it is what it is. And it really isn't always about you. And if it is about you, then give yourself a little check. If you lost a job because you were always late, and you're really disappointed that you lost the job, then you know what? You know what you need to do next time, right? Get up early. Or things like that. Like, give yourself a little bit of a reality check and get some perspective on the situation. And you know, I'm not someone that would say give up on your friends, because maybe they really are going through a rough time. Like, I know I told my daughter about her friend. She just had her third baby. So we all know, as does my daughter, that can be extremely stressful, and last minute things can happen, or she's just tired. And she just needs to say, I'm tired, I don't want to go. Do you know what I mean? So that's number 2, is just get some perspective on it. And then you need to know your own heart and know what you are capable of putting up with. Like, if you're somebody that says, that's it, this third time you've done that, I'm done. Then that's, you know that, you're done, move on. For me, I don't know, I'm just not that ready to give up on people or things or situations or jobs. Like, try again, keep trying again. Or I like to kind of deal with things with kind of an open heart, and sort of, because it's easier for me if I have loving kindness towards somebody that's disappointed me. Like, you know, maybe they are having a bad day, and although I'm not trying to discount that my feelings are, they are negative. Yeah, I am upset, I'm mad, I don't like being disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not gonna hold it against them forever and ever and ever. I know that I'm capable of disappointing people too. I've done that. I know I have. With anybody that's got a chronic illness knows that you are somebody that cancels a lot and does all of those things. And yeah, like, so put the like, how's that thing called? Walk a mile in their shoes? Well, yeah, because you've done it yourself. So nobody's perfect, and life has disappointments in it. And then the last thing would be just sort of practice acceptance. It's just what I just said, you have to accept that I'll be disappointed in life. It's part of life. You want to blame whoever, whatever disappointed you. But again, just accept that if we kind of have an open heart and try to look at the good things, like, I got fired from my job. Maybe I'm not supposed to be an accountant. Maybe I'm supposed to be a singer. You know, so try to look at the good things in life. I'm disappointed that, I spent all my money for, you know, the rest of the month. I blew it on something stupid, and I'm so disappointed because I have no money. And that's a real deal. But you know what? You'll survive. You're just disappointed my friend bailed on me for the third time. Well, take that opportunity. You've been given a free day to do stuff. So, do some art journaling. So those are my little points on how do you deal with disappointment. So here's my finished page. I wrote all of those quotes down. What is the irony? I'm writing it down. I used a different pen, put my hand on it, and I smudged it. How disappointing when I'm writing about how do you handle disappointment. I think that's pretty funny. So I wrote down there, number 1, let it out, sit with it, be present. Number 2, get some perspective and positive self-talk. Number 3, under the B3, know your own heart. Negative feelings are real, open, loving kindness. And number 4, practice acceptance. It's part of life, except so we can suffer less. Look at the good things. And then I put, how do you, I used my U's that I got for 18 cents, these guys. I used the blue one, handle disappointment. And then I put the date right here, January 31. I did little stitch marks all the way around. And the reason I use the color blue, because we often feel blue when we're sad or disappointed. So there's my page. The sun is about to set in Vegas. The whole time I was writing, there wasn't one helicopter, of course. So thanks a lot for joining me on Life Cues. And I'm sure lots of people have lots of ways on how they handle disappointment. And I would love to hear them, because the more tools we have in our arsenal when things go wrong, the better for all of us. So farewell from Vegas, and we'll see you next week. Bye.